Wait, now look into this phone and say it again.
Now say it again. Just let me take a video of you saying you're going to kill the president.
All right. You know what it is. You know who it is. We are back with another episode of the BG Perform podcast with my co-host, Coach Gerald Leo Hayes. Looking a little frail there. Just kidding.
Fuck you, dude. I'm leaning out.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I'm joking.
How was the week?
Week's been good, man. So I don't know if I told you. Yeah, I sent you a picture. I got the Costco membership for the first time.
Yeah.
Brother. Dude, it's been great. I spent like $400 there, but it's like all on stuff that's going to last forever. But I got meat there too. They got the 10-pound tube of 90/10. You just give a little knock on the window. You say, "Give me that big thing," and I give it out to you. But I got that, and then I got like $60 worth of steak.
I'm gonna make a joke, but I'm gonna keep it PG.
That's why I did it. It's leaving it open for interpretation. And then I got like a ton of steak, dude, and I just made it yesterday, and it has like the perfect amount of red in it. So even when you microwave it, there's still red in it. So like perfect meal prep steak. Training's been good. Working out's been good. My own training, it's been great. It's been a good week. Staying very busy. It's
Beautiful.
dry as hell out here in Colorado.
Beautiful.
My lips
like it.
are crusty. How about you?
All right. It's good. Busy week. Been training hard. Launched the Coach Connect last week, so just have some stuff I've been working on with that. Also have we released the podcast episode this past Tuesday. Had a new episode of Behind the Design on Wednesday. I dove into peaking an MMA athlete. So dove into all the concepts and theories behind making sure someone's ready for a fight. So it's been good. Training's been really good. I've been feeling really sore. I've been pushing it, but I've been feeling sore last couple weeks.
good.
Been doing a lot more leg stuff, and definitely been feeling it. But we're moving and grooving. I'm looking forward to today's episode. Got a little bit of a switch up for today because we usually obviously have a topic, but today the topic is going to be some stuff that I found on Threads and Twitter.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah,
if you
and
will.
Jerry and I are gonna react to it. I haven't really told him any of the things that I've decided that we're gonna go over today. So nothing like crazy. We're just gonna talk about some of the concepts and theories that I kind of pulled off of Twitter. There
Ready?
might be
Best reaction face. Go.
Let's hope it fixed that one. If not, I gotta figure out how to do the
How to choose a thumbnail.
how to make the thumbnail myself because this one automatically takes the pictures for us. But yeah, so I have a couple tweets and threads that I found that I thought were interesting and could spark some good conversation. So we're gonna dive into that. Before I do start, like I did say, I had the new Behind the Design. Those are gonna be every single Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. live Eastern time on YouTube on the OPEX. Jerry, anything for you?
No.
All right.
Boring
I
as
think that
hell.
was it. I feel like I wanted to say something else. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say. Can't remember. But anyways, so the first one that I'm going to read, I saw this about a week and a half ago, I think. No, this is January 27th that this was tweeted. And this was from one of my favorite players growing up, basketball. His name was Kenyon Martin. He was on a podcast, which most of these basketball podcasts are just absolutely terrible nowadays. Like some of these guys are just ruining their reputation on these podcasts. But Kenyon Martin was asked why players, or they were having a conversation in regards to like why players in today's game, specifically the NBA, are suffering more non-contact lower body injuries. And this is an interesting topic because this is something I've been adamant on and speaking of, and I think there's a couple reasons why this is happening, but I'm going to kind of read what he said and then we'll react from there. He said, it's the training and the way they work out. You never know who never gets hurt. Russell Westbrook. You know why? How he trains and who he trains with. Go look at it. He's throwing weight around. He's doing shit that others aren't. He ain't doing that new training shit. That safe training band work shit, man. It's a direct quote. But anyways,
Let me hear that last part one more time. That what?
yeah, safe training band work shit, man.
I like your delivery the first time. That band, safe band, work shit, man. This is bland as hell.
But anyways, so this is interesting because I think this is like such a big thing that I've spoke of, and I think we've had this conversation a while back in regards to like specialization and whatnot. And I think personally, like, if you want to be the best, you got to be really dedicated to a sport. And if you're going to be really dedicated to a sport, you can't really be playing other sports. I know that obviously there's been a lot of people who would disagree with me and would say that playing multiple sports is the better avenue. I don't disagree by any means. I just think if you do want to be the best at a sport and you do want to dedicate yourself, it usually has nothing to do with playing multiple sports. It just has to do with like training, proper training, right? And when I say training, I mean strength conditioning. And I think what's really important to kind of notice here is a couple things. One, Kenyon Martin's from an era where the training was different. The training was centered around weightlifting more. The training was centered around less around what we would see today, which is more like scientific training, right? Or we would call like science-based training. There's a lot of angles and movements and patterns and things that are coming from really smart people, mind you. Like that, you know, I'm not saying they're not smart, but when we get into the world of athletics, like these guys are moving at like the fastest they've ever moved. They're the biggest they've ever been. They're the most skilled they've ever been. And their training, I think, has almost taken a step back to make up for that in some ways. And I think what Kenyon Martin's trying to say here is if you don't watch basketball, Russell Westbrook is probably like one of the most intense players of the last like 15 years in the NBA. He was a guy like in his prime that could jump higher than everybody, that could run faster than everybody, that was more aggressive than everybody. And he was the MVP, I think 2 or 3 times in a row in the NBA. Had averaged a triple-double twice, which is absolutely insane in the NBA. For a guard, mind you. He's a shooting, well, technically a point guard, shooting guard. So like just might not register how hard that is, but like that's probably one of the hardest things for his size and his position to do in the NBA. And he rarely, if ever, got hurt. The only time I remember he was hurt for like a very extended a period of time, and I might be forgetting, but was when Patrick Beverley, who was a pretty dirty player, like intentionally ran into him on the sideline and he tore his meniscus. It was nothing that like he did, you know, it was contact injury, right? So he's talking specifically about like non-contact lower body injuries. And I think it is part of the thing that's happening now is I think guys are playing less. I think they're playing less aggressive. I think their training is less intense. And I think you are getting too much of like this science-based, you know, what he would call safe training band work shit, right? And I think like that does have a time and a place. But I think that a lot of this stuff, like, and it has its time and its place, but like that doesn't replace weight. It doesn't replace getting under heavy weight, your body adjusting, and that's how you get better, and that's how you become resilient. You know, and I think there's a time and a place to move better, like movement, but it just doesn't replace weightlifting. And I think in basketball, especially, there is a ton, like it's been like that for a while, where some of the best guys aren't the best weightlifters, and it's almost like a weird correlation where it's like the guys who lifted less were like better players, you know, like more skilled players. Like Allen Iverson was one of the best, who was like notorious for not lifting, but he was like one of the most skilled players in the league for his time. Now his career didn't last long. I would say that was more like a personality thing than anything else. But I think time and time again, the ones who, you know, were just naturally gifted didn't necessarily have to lift as much weight, and that kind of translated over into like the how you deal with an athlete.
Mm-hmm. I think I actually had a conversation about this recently. I think that we talked about this recently. There was that study between plyos versus strength versus just training for your sport.
Yeah.
And strength training had the best out of both. Out of all 3 results, strength training had the best results in terms of increased vertical, speed, power output. And I think that people think about strength training like becoming strong, but a lot of it truly is just injury prevention. Mm-hmm. Like some people think injury prevention, they do picture a band. They picture some plyometrics, which yes, that is part of it. But in order to get the most out of it, you do want to have the strength component. And I think that people are skipping over that because there's all these myths on there, like the whole like lifting can stunt your growth. So even in like younger athletes, we're seeing injuries happen sooner. And I think it's because they're just not prepared for high impact work. And people have to remember too that strength training isn't just for the muscle. It's for the nervous system, it's for the joints and the structure. It's more than just becoming strong, it's becoming resilient. And to be honest, I kind of agree with that. All the band safe shit that people are doing, sometimes it's not pushing the body to the point where you're going to get a good adaptation. Yeah, if you do a band workout or whatever this smart, safe band shit is that he's talking about, if you do that workout for 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, you might be like, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I'm feeling a little sore. But where's the progression? A thicker band that you could barely pull because you're not strong enough now?
Well,
I think that skipping over it is probably the worst thing that athletes can do.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, there needs to be adaptation. There needs to be progression. And I think that, not picking on bands here, but it's just kind of like it was in the quote.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think like that sort of training has its time and place. And it can offer people a lot. And it can offer coaches an opportunity to, still create training opportunities when you don't have equipment. But I think, we need to create resilience in the body, and that doesn't happen any other way besides getting down there and lifting weight, right? And I think you can try to avoid it all you want. You can try to get around it, but I think time and time again, you've seen it. Athletes have seen it. The better you are in the weight room, it translates better to success in training, explosiveness, and all that stuff, right? Anything else to add to that?
No, that's spot on. It's
cool. This was a thread. It was from one of my favorite musicians, Russ. He said, how much time did you put into learning and getting better at your craft? How much time did you put into learning and getting better at marketing it? Or are you entitled and just think that doing one of those and not the other should be enough? And I think that resonates because I think this is something that I struggle with and I've struggled with a lot, where it's like I really love coaching, but I really hate marketing, and I really hate that side of it. And I think a lot of coaches hate it. And I think that you can't just put time and effort into, you can't just put time and effort into the coaching side of it. You have to put it into like getting it out there and having conversations and doing all the things that you need to do on a daily basis, like you would coaching on the marketing. And I've had to learn this the hard way. I've had to learn this as I ran the business, as I've managed another gym, as I've tried to grow my online training and my in-person training. You just have to have conversations. And as uncomfortable as it is, you get better. You get better at having those sort of conversations and marketing yourself. And I still think the best marketing is consistency and showing up every single day. But I also think that getting better and knowing, what do people want to see, what avenues, and treating it like coaching, right? Like you didn't just wake up and you weren't just good at coaching, right? You remember your first couple of times coaching or having that conversation about coaching, you're all over the place. You didn't know how to cue or what to say. It's the same thing. You don't know what to put online. You don't know how to market yourself. You don't know how to talk about yourself, but you have to practice. You have to get out there. You have to do it just as much as you would, practicing your coaching.
Yeah, I am. If you could imagine a marketing genius, whatever the exact opposite side of the spectrum is, that's where I am. I am like, sometimes I'll put a lot of effort into something and I'll be like, this is going to go really well with how I'm marketing this, and nothing will happen. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Yeah. And then in other moments, I'll be like, I'm just going to put this out there. And then it blows up and people reach out to me. They're like, yo, I need a coach. I'm like, what the I don't understand anything about marketing. So that's one thing I do agree. Like, that's one thing I want to get better at, is studying like marketing and understanding how to reach more people, how to get the message across clearer. All that stuff is really important, but it's definitely the side that I struggle with the most. And
I think it's like consistency, like I don't think I think, you've gone through bouts. I've gone through bouts. I think I'm a little bit more consistent on the content side of things.
I hate content.
There's just things that, you get used to as you start to do it. I've been, to a fault, I think, so much focused on just getting stuff out and sacrificing like high quality.
Quantity versus quality.
Yeah, but I think there's a time and a place for it. I think in the beginning, just getting out as much information as possible is ideal. And then you can make it a little bit nicer and you can start to filter out what you think and how it looks, or
Yeah.
you just go that route from the beginning if you can maintain it. I think the biggest thing is just obviously maintaining it. Gary Vee talks about that a lot, where instead of like, worrying about what your feed looks like, how about you fill it and make sure that there's enough stuff so when someone finds you, they can know what you are, who you are, and what you do, right?
And go from there. Yeah.
And I just think that's a really important aspect of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, on
Yeah,
top of that, I'll add one more thing. We've talked about it too. Like, it's better to just put things out there, so when you do grow, you have it.
yeah,
Because if you don't start and you're worried about the quality so much, and you're just like, well, I can't put it out, it's not perfect.
yeah,
Then you're never going to start, because nothing's ever going to be perfect. You'll improve as you go, but you have to understand that you're going to have faults in your own creation and how you post things, and you'll learn along the way, and then you'll be able to even see, and people will see your content get better and be like, damn, he's really been putting in work, or she's been really putting
yeah,
in work.
yeah.
So I think if you haven't started, just start. And if you have started and you've gone through bouts, especially me, I'm going to be honest, I'll be like, all right, I'm really motivated, I'm going to post some content. I do it, and then I'm like, bro, I hate posting content. I stop for like a few days, and then I lose steam. So I need to be better about that too.
Yeah, and I think it's like I said, it's one of those things where coaching, obviously, like marketing is almost like the early stage of coaching. It's like you're trying to get in front of people, you're trying to have that conversation, you're trying to show people what you're capable of, and you're just kind of getting a lot of duds, and you're not really making anything from it, quote unquote. But that's how you build consistency and build your reputation, and then people are going to find you and come to you. I remember when I was I post consistently, and I think anybody who follows me knows I post pretty regularly. But like that's what got me the opportunity to go down to Florida, which then got me the opportunity to train with like Ian and Amanda and Dustin and all these people. But it came from posting, and like you don't really know who's watching you or why they're watching you or how they're watching you, and it might lead to something. So it's like, you have to get stuff out there, but you have to work on it too. You have to make sure it's clean. You have to make sure it's digestible, because me just posting information isn't the same as like really dedicated, like to the point type of information that someone can take in, digest, and then move with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So next one is by someone named Legion. I don't know who this is on Threads.
Legion, that sounds familiar. I mean, I'm
Maybe
sure
it's
many
it's a
people have it.
verified account. So, so their thread was, if you're super fit, 6 months of grinding will make little difference in your physique or performance, but 6 months of lying around will make you feel frail. Fitness is funny like that.
Bro, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I swear, if I have like more than 2 days off in a row, I'm like, oh, I feel so soft, and like I just feel weak. It's like, yet motion is lotion. I think we said that last time too. Like, you just have to keep moving, and like you have to stay strong by just continuing to do things. But that's pretty much everything in life. Like, in order to succeed, you need to continue to push forward. As soon as you stop, it's like the snowball effect starts to go away.
Yeah, and I think my take from this is I think with fitness, oftentimes we get started on this stuff and we don't realize how easy it is to like fall into the bad habits until we're finding good ones. And it takes a very long time to get into good habits. It's not just overnight. Like, very obviously, people can make it overnight. Like, it's not truly that hard of a situation. It's just about the discipline you're able to kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like act with, or kind of like put into action. But I think, you realize when you've been sitting around for 6 months how shitty your body feels and how different you look and how, your energy starts to falter and your mood starts to falter. And it's like, in 6 months of training, your body might look like marginally different, but you're going to feel a lot better, right? In 6 months of sitting around, you're going to look and feel more like worse. And some people, you don't look as different, right? But the time and the like every time you don't move, like every month you don't move, is essentially like 2 months to get back to a spot, right? And then every 6 months you move, that's essentially like, in my mind, it's like a year it's going to take to kind of get you back to a spot where you were 100% before. And what happens is people try to lay off for 6 months, and then they try to make up for it in 2, and then they lay off for 4, and then they try to make up for it in a month. And it's just like this really bad cycle. That
One step forward, 5 steps backward.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where it is, where it's like, if you're training every single month, like every single month is a step forward, right? It might not feel like a lot, but at the end of a year, you took 12 steps forward, right? Every
Yeah.
month you don't train is essentially like 2 or 3 steps back.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel that, and it takes, if you figure that out, if we're starting at like 0 and you do 6 months in the negative direction, let's say we'll double it, right? That's 12 steps back you've taken versus 12 steps forward. That's a 24 step difference to get to where they are, right?
Yeah.
And that's like really difficult for some people to understand. And I think they get into this mindset of like, oh, well, 6 months of almost like choosing your pain. It is, you can either hate the way you look or you can hate the way you feel at the end of a workout, but then know you accomplished something, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh shit, that sucked. My legs are fried. But then it's like you go home, you try on a pair of pants, and you're like, oh wow, my butt looks nice in these, right? Or
Yeah.
my legs look nice in these. Or my arms are filling out my shirt a little bit more. Like that's the sort of thing where it's like that sucked in the moment, but I feel better. Or
Mm-hmm.
it's like, hey, I didn't have to suffer during the workout, but I don't like the way I feel. I don't even want to look at myself in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
Those are two completely separate things.
I'll take that even one step further. I'll say that when I'm not working out, I'm the first to admit we've talked about it before. My mental health goes down the shitter. As soon as I stop moving, I become unmotivated. I become like depressed. I'm sleeping in more. I'm staying up late. It's hard for me to fall asleep. It's hard for me to stay asleep. As soon as I get one workout back in the gym, it just immediately goes away.
Yeah.
It's right back to where I was. So I think that not only is it going to affect like the 5 steps backward, 1 step forward type thing, physically, mentally, getting back into the gym is going to make you feel motivated in other aspects of life, which are also going to help you in the gym and
Yep.
vice versa. So,
Yeah, it's important.
yeah.
All right, next from Alec Howard C. Unfortunately, fitness is simple. The whole lift 3 times a week, 10K steps a day, eat real food diet, get sunlight, sleep 7+ hours, stay hydrated, and be consistent thing actually works. I don't even know if you
I
need
like
to add
that one.
anything to that, right? But I think it's just,
Yeah.
I think to get fit, this is like the perfect blueprint, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you lift 3 times a week, if you try to hit as close to 10K steps a day as possible, it doesn't have to be 10K, but
Mm-hmm.
as close as you can get to that, you eat real food, you get sunlight, you sleep for 7+ hours, you stay hydrated, and most importantly, you're consistent, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to work. And I think that, like, the biggest thing here is it's not this crazy 21-day crash. It's not this, 3-week shortcut to shred, even though, these programs are things that are very enticing and very hopeful, right? They
Mm-hmm.
create a lot of hope inside of you, just doing the consistent things. And this kind of like goes hand in hand with the last one. If you do 6 months of 3 times a week lifting, 10K steps a day, eating real food, getting sunlight, sleeping for 7+ hours, staying hydrated, you're going to be a different person. Like I can promise you that, right?
Yeah.
And then anything extra on top of that is going to get you a little bit further. But that's kind of at a baseline of like, hey, if you can complete this consistently for 6 months, you're going to be a whole different person. You're going to be a new version of yourself, and you're going to get 10 times farther than you did if you just sat there for 6 months.
Yeah. It sucks to say because it is kind of unfortunate because most people think it's so complicated that they don't even want to look into it, but just do the thing. Just move. Yeah. Even if it's like simple stuff in your lift, the most simple lift ever, as long as you're like moving, that's going to be a big change. I'll say moving from my last position where I was in a management role, I was sitting down a lot more. I was on the computer a lot more. I was getting way less steps. I would have to force myself to get steps later in the day. I'm accidentally hitting 10,000 right now and I'm becoming leaner. Just
Yeah.
from that. That's the only thing I've changed.
Yeah.
That's the only thing is just more
I
steps.
remember when I
I'm
was
still
coaching at my
training the same.
highest capacity in Florida and sweating every single day because it was so hot. I
Yeah.
was like losing weight like crazy.
Yeah. I'm actually struggling. That's why I bought those steaks and everything. I was like, I need to get like heavy foods
Yeah.
so I can eat bigger meals. And like I'm struggling to maintain right now because I'm just walking more. So it's funny, like as long as
Simple.
people just do the thing, they're good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next one we got from Joey Swole.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Whether you're fit or fat, no one is better than anyone in the gym. We're all here to improve our bodies, so respect each other or GTFO.
Fuck yeah, Joey. I love Joey Swole. I want to hug that man, but my arms wouldn't get around him. You know, he's just massive. I love that because
Yeah, go talk.
I love that because I think that most people are afraid to go to the gym, and we've said this before. Like nobody's looking at you in the gym; they're looking at themselves, and most people are worried about themselves so much that they forget that other people are around. And like most people don't want to go to the gym because they think they're going to be judged, or they think they're not going to fit in, or they're not good enough, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But then they go to the gym, and people like Joey Swole are there, and they're always motivating you. They're telling you like, "Hey, I see you all the time. Great work." And it's really an amazing community. Like, yeah, there are a few scummy people that we find on the internet here and there, but those are few and far between.
Yeah.
But I mean, I gotta say, like, everyone's there with the same goal to better themselves, whether mentally, physically, both, whatever. And everyone's welcome in the gym. We love it. That's a great quote.
And I think it's really important to understand that, like, if you're in an environment where you don't feel secure or safe inside the gym, that's probably like, and you don't have that environment, like that sucks. But I think that anybody who treats anybody differently inside the gym, when someone's actually trying, right? If you're some douche who's going into the gym and causing problems, or, you know, getting mad when people walk in front of your camera, or posing in front of people and then getting mad about it when they walk by, or grunting as loud as you can and making the gym a mess, like those people deserve to be bullied. Let's just put it that way. But anybody else who's actually trying and going into the gym and doing their best to be the best version of themselves, like they deserve to just be accepted and guided, really. Like if you ever see someone like that, you know, that's an opportunity for you, especially if you're a coach. Like if you're a coach, that should be your bread and butter, to go up and say, hey, you know, if you ever need anything, I'm here. Don't feel like you're alone. Like I'm always here to help. I'm always here to answer questions, things like that, because those people need it, you know? But, you know, I went to Planet Fitness last night with my girlfriend, because that's her gym that she works out at. And I was just kind of surveying Planet Fitness and just kind of like looking at the clientele there. And there was half of it who like deserved to be bullied. And I would if I had more time. But
if it was on, if I had some time in my day, I'd go there and make it happen.
But there's half of those people that were there and just kind of doing their thing and trying their best. And I think that, you know, just showing up is like the biggest thing. And I think that, you know, again, leading by example for myself is a big thing, especially at my gym, showing up every single day, being consistent, not, you know, trashing the place, holding myself to a higher standard, and just showing people that are there, like, hey, I'm here to be, you know, used as a tool for you to get better. And I think that's just a really important aspect of it.
I want to add one more thing too, because like, and if you have a story like this, I think you should share it too. I remember the guy's face and name. I spoke to him maybe 5 times the entire time I was at Planet Fitness. This was when I think I was like a freshman in college, and I was really trying to put on weight at this point. And I remember Whitty came up to me. He had these like cool, like, what are those windbreaker pants? He had like windbreaker pants on all the time. Gray
I'm wearing
and red.
Parachute pants, kind of.
Yeah. And then he had this white wife beater every time.
That's an Italian look. I'm gonna start wearing that in the summer.
Yeah.
That's an Italian,
Russian Italian combo. Yeah. But Whitty came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, I just want to say I see you here every day. You're killing it. You're making a lot of progress, and you're much bigger than you were when you first started." And I was probably like 10 pounds heavier. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, "Oh, let's fucking go. Let's go." I was like, "Thanks, man. Thank you." But then immediately, like, I went through the rest of my workout, and I was like, "Man, this is what lifting's about." So like, everyone has a Whitty at some point in their gym career, their gym lifetime. And if you have the chance to be someone's Whitty, do it. It'll make you feel good, but you'll see them light up and they'll get amped up.
Yeah. I had there's this girl who's a trainer at the gym, and she's got a client who, me and her ran like a group class. And one of her clients is like a middle-aged guy. He's got to be in his 40s. I haven't seen him in a couple months, and he's a Giants fan. So I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Like, let's go Giants," because they had signed Jim Harbaugh at the time to be their coach. And he's like, yeah, blah, 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 this and that. He goes, you look bigger. And I was like, what does that mean? He goes, "Oh, no, in a good way."
Hey, you look fat as fuck, man.
I turned to Nick. I was like, "Did he just call me fat?" Nick was like, "I don't know, probably."
Such a Nick answer, dude. I don't know, probably.
So funny. But it was just funny. But I remember too, I have a story that's similar to that. When I was first losing weight, I was in the gym for probably like 3 or 4 months, and I was like working hard. That was when I was probably down like 30 pounds at that point. And there was this girl in the gym that was always like working out there. She was an older lady, and she was like, I just want to say, I've seen you in here every single day. You look so good. Like, you're crushing it. Keep going, blah, blah, blah. I had to tell you. And that was like an awesome experience to hear, because like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you work hard, you know, it's hard when you're just grinding every single day and you're looking at yourself in the mirror trying to be like, am I making progress? This is worth it. You
Yeah,
know, I'm
yeah.
eating, you know, basically rice and salmon every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, it's one of those things that like when you take it in, it's a really good experience. So like Jerry said, if you can be someone's, what's his name? Witty?
Witty.
If you can be
Be
someone's
someone's
witty,
witty. Yeah.
do it. Yeah,
I love
100%.
it.
Um, this one was just funny. It said no pre-workout today, just flashbacks of shit I let slide.
Brother. That's some fuel right there. Not a ton to touch on, but I just gotta say, if you got some rage, just and it keeps popping up in your head, bring it to the
No
gym, dude.
pre-workout. Just those moments. Just like those
Yeah.
moments when you're in bed that you cringe. Those moments get me. Yeah. When you were in fourth grade and you
Dude, I still have some of those where I won't even speak about them. And I know that like my memory is super autistic.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
I
know.
remember everything. I remember what I was wearing, what they were wearing. I remember what position the sun was in, and I'm just like,
Jesus
oh
Christ.
god, it's the
That's
worst.
crazy. That's funny. But yeah, I think those types of thoughts can get you very far.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So
I've
definitely
used
you.
some rage thoughts in the gym before.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we got three more. Next
right.
one from Miles Strength. Being in shape and being a good coach are two very different things. A fitness influencer's results may come from genetics, lifestyle, or methods they're not actually teaching. Coaching requires skills in psychology, communication, and many more, not just personal results. That's why elite athletes don't always make elite coaches.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
that's. I'll say this too. Like, there are some coaches that look like if you see them, you're like, dude, has this dude been in a gym? And then you see him talk and you see him take his athletes through everything, and you're like, oh, I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
You know, and it's really easy to judge a book by its cover. Like if you look at someone who's really fit, it's like if I do what they do, I'll look like that, right? And it's like no, not always.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just like, dude, I swear, I had a friend in college that I swear was just born with a six pack. Like he just every time he would just like take his shirt off, it's just like he was etched by some fucking artist, and it's just like, dude, when's the last time you actually ate something besides cookies? Like it's insane. So like some people, like you said, it's genetics. Sometimes it is hard work and it's a lot of discipline, but they're not always connected, you know. So
Yeah.
I agree.
No, and I think it's important. I think I've always had that experience, especially in the sports world. I think you find that very often is like the guys who are just gifted athletes usually didn't have to work. They worked really hard, but they didn't have to learn some of the skills. They were just good at it.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like I can't imagine. I think there are some exceptions to the rule, like, you know, some of these athletes, but like there's some people who it's just like they jump in basketball and they can just jump. You
Mhm.
can't really teach someone how to jump. It's just like, hey, I just jump,
I
right?
put
A
my
lot
feet
of
on
it
the
has
ground
to
and
do
I
with,
let them go.
yeah, you know, like a lot of it is genetics, a lot of it's
Yeah.
like Achilles tendon length, that sort of thing, where it's like you just can't teach it, right? But then
Mhm.
there's some guys who just didn't have the skill, they didn't have the size, they didn't have the advantages, and like they were just good because they worked their ass off, right? I've seen
Mhm.
this conversation like in regards to soccer, right? Like there's conversations about how like Messi is just like gifted with a soccer ball, right? But Ronaldo is one of the guys who's like just worked really hard to get good at soccer, and that's, I don't know that like that's exactly the thing. I don't know, but like when you kind of see them play, like Messi just looks like he was born to play soccer. Ronaldo looks like he worked his whole life to get better at soccer. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
No, that
I
makes
don't know if
sense.
that
Yeah.
like, yeah, like you can kind of tell sometimes. Like some people are just fluid. Like, you know, Michael Jordan when he played basketball was just, it looked like he was meant to play basketball, you know,
Mhm.
whereas some of these guys they're really good at the game of basketball, but it's manufactured. Like they had to work really hard to kind of gain the skill that they have. And I think that it's the same thing as coaching. It's like some of these people who, like you said, are just shredded to the bone. And like, you know, Bo Jackson, for example, Bo Jackson was someone who barely lifted in his career and he was jacked beyond
Yeah.
belief, right? So it's like these types of guys who are built a certain way. And even in today's world, you see a lot of trainers who look a certain way, and it might be genetics, it might be other things, but you know, there's people who like myself who had to lose 70 pounds to get there. Like that's a learning experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I was in a position where I was overweight. It's like I had to learn all the things that got me to get to the point now, and that's experience. Like I had to go through it myself, and that's how I teach people. I was never physically gifted or aesthetically gifted in regards to like my body, right?
Yeah.
But also those are choices as well, but it's just, learning that sort of thing as a coach helps you be a better coach because you had to work to get it.
Yeah, I'll also say that some people are really good movers, but then when you see them try to coach, they have no
Yeah,
idea
and
how to
teaching is
communicate
hard.
that.
Yeah.
Being able to communicate how to perform to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing is a skill in itself. Like I had a coach the other day, bro. Oh my God. I had a coach complain. They were like, how come you didn't tell me this person didn't know how to move well? And I was like, they did fine in the assessment. And then they were like, they didn't know how to do heel to toe walks. And I was like, bro, I had them doing things harder than heel to toe walks and it looked pretty good. And it's just like
heel to toe walks, people struggle with that all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not gonna lie, it's a weird movement if you're not used to it, but also like if you're not willing to put in effort to teach somebody, don't be a coach. Like if it comes easy to you and you love it too, do it. Great. But like also be willing to work hard to be able to teach people who don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the last one here was from a fellow OPEX coach, Dr. David Skolnick. He wrote, pain you choose with a greater than sign, and then pain you don't. Right. And I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. There's a lot of pain that sucks to do in the moment, right? Like the pain of waking up at 4 a.m. to head to the gym, the pain of doing a really heavy set of squats or a really heavy set of bench or a really tough set of pull-ups or a really tough run or conditioning piece. Like that pain sucks, right? But at the end of it, it's accomplishing something. It's getting you closer to your goal. And that's a pain that in the moment sucks, but at the end of it, like is worth it. Right. And the pain you don't choose is when you do wake up at 4 and you hit the snooze and you roll over and you don't wake up and you don't go to the gym. And then you go to the family party and you don't feel good and you don't like the way you look, or you take pictures with your friends at the party or an event and you're like, wow, I don't like the way I look at all. And you kind of beat yourself up. Like that's a different type of pain, right? Mm-hmm. And I think understanding that there is an opportunity for you to choose the pain that you want to deal with, which is that hard, like I gotta wake up. I don't want to, but I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go to the gym, versus I hate the way I look and this really does suck, right? And I think you've probably heard this a bunch of times if you're someone who works out regularly or has started and stopped. It's like you have to choose the pain that you want to deal with. Is it the pain of like, yeah, this sucks? Or is it the pain of like, nah, I don't like the way I feel or look in my own body? And that's a very difficult thing to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to control too. Like when you don't have control over situations, it's very frustrating. When you want to make change, but you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
That's just as frustrating. So being able to say like, all right, these are the things I want. I have control over it. I'm going to take action. Here we go. That's a lot of why like the pain you choose is great, because you're like, I know that this is going to suck in the moment, but it's going to make me better. Yep. So yeah, control is huge.
So I think that's it. I think I'm just trying to see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Any thoughts, comments, additions onto that?
All of these are things that we've talked about for the most part. So I'm just happy that like the discussions that we're having are also out on the internet from other people, and like they're saying like, yep, this is a thing. Because it's just like, it just kind of reinforces to our listeners that we're not just saying like, oh, like fitness is easy if you just have the discipline. It's like, yeah, no, these are other people who are saying the same things. So it's great.
Yeah. So I think that's it for us. I think if you do have any tweets or anything you want us to check out or react to, send it our way. Hit us up. You can send it to me on Instagram. You can send it to me on Twitter myself. I think my Twitter is just BG Perform. Yeah, BG Perform _. So the same as my Instagram. So you can just hit me up on there. And Jerry, you do not have Twitter or X?
I don't like it. I just don't go on there. Every time I go on there, I get lost. And then I realized like 20 minutes went by after like what I felt like was one. So I don't even touch it.
All right. Well, if you want to send it on there, or you can get it to us on Instagram at BG Perform _, or at Coach Jerry Hayes. Obviously, if you guys do want to work with us, you can hit us up on the website www.bgperform.com. You can fill out the training services intake form. We will get back to you as soon as you fill that out, and we can discuss the best options for you. Episode will be aired on Tuesday. It's going to come out, as always, if you're listening to this, it's probably past Tuesday at 6 a.m. Have a new episode of Behind the Design after this as well on Tuesday. And anything else? Coach Connect. If you are a coach who's listening to Coach Connect or someone who's interested in just learning to be a coach, definitely reach out because we're launching the Coach Connect. The first official call of the group is going to be March 3rd. So we still got about a month to get ready for that. We have the initial kind of like intake call that we did. I can send you the recording. It gives you all the information, the what, why, how, and how you can join. So you can check that out as well. But until next time, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys soon. Peace.